Alright, playoff round 2 versus Zonk. They are the reigning champion from the pilot season of Draft League. Whoever wins this goes on to the finals. I have cooked up something a little fun. And Zonk has died. The end. Question mark. Alright. QQ. So I guess while we wait for the reconnection, they forgot one thing, so they're going to take care of that. I might as well show the team off a bit. So Raptor was going to be a funny Spike Thrasher set to take advantage of the torch passes, let them happen, but instead I wanted to do a funny trait dance onto Mudsley with Power Sap to just live forever. Torn Anchor also helping things live forever with Refresh, but the core here is Waddle, Musclebound, and Dugout, where the Juicer here is going to be doing crazy damage if it ever catches a Heat Wave. And if it doesn't catch a Heat Wave, it's going to be my first sacrifice. My goal will be to get it wiped before Zonk scores a point, or when Zonk scores their first point. There was a strong consideration for Demolipede, because Demolipede would be another Demolish user, could do some front row pressure. Okay, so, sorry, let me interrupt because I gotta focus. Mudsley Dugout means it is probably a Heat Wave counterserve. I am just going to lead my 2 Grit users. The other plan, in case it was Varkamon or Mantis, was to lead with the Waddle, and then have the Waddle Tornado Ball to stop the cheese. But since I don't have to worry about that, we're gonna go all in. Alright. Do it. Click Heat Wave. Tell me how it goes for you. I want to Spitball Dugout so it can't get to the front because that front row Grit will do tremendous damage. Alright, I have 2 Grit users online. Here is the question. Grit's going to do a lot to both sides. I probably want to switch one of these out. The question is which one. I'm inclined to believe it is Musclebound, bring the Musclebound in later. Unless it's bring the Dugout in later because it can Torch Pass. I have Torch Pass on my Muscle. Or on my Dugout. I'm sorry, Torch Pass on Musclebound would go crazy though. Greg, please buff. Cannot be a front row Grit. Probably a Spitball into a Chill Out. Maybe it's Spitball into this slot, Chill Out. So you know what? I think to avoid the Chill Out. Okay, now I can get front row. Front row Grit will kill, and it will do good damage. It will not kill the Lunopter. It'll do great damage to everything. I can also provoke. Well, I don't see the point in provoking really, unless I want to provoke the Dugout something from Torch Passing or Chanting or something. I think I just get to front row. And do some damage. If this thing decides to stay in and goes front row, Waddle can take it just fine. I kind of want to chip down this Mudsley and start putting them in a bad position. I don't want the Lunoptra. Well, actually, no, I have my Provoke user out, so Lunoptra will then have to be a Spitball onto you. So I think that's the plan. I think it's going to be a Lunoptra. We don't want to let the Provoke user get Spitballed. Ooh, it's Delupa. Okay. Alright, shake off the Cyclone, Spitball, Chill Out. This is the part where I probably don't have any sideways pressure. That was another consideration for Demolipede with sideways pressure, but I figured the Ormantis might have come and the Dreadful Mist would get the front row, but since there's no front row, I can't threaten sideways. I'm a little slow here. I can get Musclebound back in just fine because there's a lot of low beasties, so I can switch. The question is to who, and I think that the answer is to Raptor, and if the Spitball is on to... Okay, I cannot trait dance and be funny. I can provoke the Cyclone. Or I can just Power Sap and go for the kill. I kind of like that. And then that might be a Lunoptra play, but then there's no Spitball. Yeah, and then I get almost all my health back. That's really good, actually. Refresh already showing value. I usually run set on Tort Anchor. I was thinking about running set on Tort Anchor. Okay. Notably, cannot Torch Pass. I don't care too much for Boom. It has no incentive to shake off, so it's probably a grit, and it cannot get to front row, so we are going to block. We are going to provoke, so that it cannot Torch Pass. Or is that too obvious? Oh, Heartbreaker does kill. I do threaten to kill. Then Lunoptra comes in and Torch Passes. We gotta think here. I could do another refresh power sap. How much longer can I just keep refresh power sapping, to be honest? Before we start running into problems here. Then I can switch out. You know what? I think they aren't going to try to Torch Pass. If they do, I'm okay with it, because Thrasher just does more damage. Yep, I was correct. Frozen in place, but with extra health. That is very, very nice. Slice and Boom, no point in shaking off. I can just keep throwing down this side. More telekinesis. We just keep blocking. Provoke on the line. If it's provoked, then it is what it is. Telekinesis indeed. Power Sap does kill. Is there any point to double provoke here? Or do I just refresh Power Sap again? This Valuha is super ignorable. Yeah, this Raptor strat's pretty good. Cool. That means I get even more health back. And then I can just walk forward with this Hog, if I really want to. Alright, so it's Lunoptra that comes in 100% of the time to set up a Torch Pass. And then a Mist. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I'll let the Delucia sit there. That's fine. Oh, okay. That's also an option. 1 HP in a Dream. Tort Anchor coming back in is the obvious play, but there's not much they can do about it. It's pretty decent. I can also just... Honestly, I can Torch Pass to whoever I want. This just makes the most sense. Cool. Probably a Lunoptra here. No sideways pressure means I'm free to Torch Pass out to Maraptor. Zonk types in the chat, yep, exactly what I was afraid of, LOL. I understand. Not overcommitting to the double field removal is actually really good because Dread Mist hasn't had a chance to go up yet. Second move doesn't even, like, matter. what do I even do here? I don't need any of these buttons. I might as well. Alright. This is probably a mist into boom, unless it's just a power sap. I don't think it's going to be a power sap. Yep. Does kill? I mean, let's just play it slow. We don't have to rush. Alright, the Grit finally doing the crazy damage. Heartbreaker killing from the front row. Obviously not killing the Barkabond. Let's just get this out of here now. We keep mashing. Back row slice. Waddle has to move to the back or give up a point. Do I care? Telekinesis back row slice kills Waddle, so it's almost certainly that, right? If I want to reposition this Waddle out, who is it for? I can just restore the position with that or slice. Oh, that does so much though. And then it's a slice serve, and I can walk it forward, and then I'm pretty sure Grit just kills anything, so yeah, this works. It can't even be sliced. Cool. I don't even have to walk it forward, because I have whatchamacallit, but for good measure. It is time for the juicening. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. Yeah, the double Grit start is brutal. That doesn't save you, homie. Woo! Alright, game one. Good start. Waiting for decision to serve. Zonk is C-serving again. Alright, game one was great. Let's see if game two is also great. Do I read? I worked well the first time. What if it's a Varkabond? I mean, I could just spitball serve into the Varkabond instead. And then just walk up with a dugout, and then Juicer probably kill something anyways. Same thing. Same deal, we do not want dugout getting to the front. We probably just do the same play here, right? Is there any reason to deviate at all? Grit. I don't even remember which one I switched out first. I think I switched out the dugout first. The first game. So I'd probably switch out the muscle bound this time. Let's do we'll mix it up a bit. Although I don't care to torch pass yet, which I think is why I switched it out the first time, and it's why I'm going to switch it out again. Oh yeah, it was also because chill out, that's right. And then we get at the front. Then we grit. I'm still okay with this, even if the dugout stays in. Yep. I was kind of expecting that adaptation. Grit does 1 billion damage. Waddle doesn't care. I get a juicy little Heartbreaker on the Tort Anchor onto the dugout to stop it from doing damage. Yep. Here comes the pain train. I think Heartbreaker kills through Oak. I kind of would like a clear field. What if it survives? And I mean, it loses out on some damage potential, and then what? 2 chill outs doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, why not? If it's a block and it lives, then it's a block and it lives. Call. Telekinesis Slice will once again end my existence there. I can... What can I do here? I was kind of expecting that to be the case, but I think I'm okay with this outcome regardless. Spitball Serve means I can't just bring in that, unfortunately. I know what I do here. Well, then that gets spitballed, and I can't do funny double trade dance. I'd like to take Moist away, if I can. Oh, I guessed wrong. Okay. Front row grid still forces it out at least. If I get rid of the Varkabon and that stays in, then I can double trade dance. Triple Trade Dance Free Ball doesn't even sound like a great idea, to be honest. Yep, cool. Now, Deluha probably comes in, right? So, I'm in a sticky-ish situation. Because it's going to be Shake Off, Spam. I don't think it's going to be missed, though. How do I stop the Torch Pass? What if its Dugout sneaks back in? Is that a problem? Maybe? It goes to front row and does a ton of damage. I mean, I don't want this thing going front row doing a ton of damage either. I think it's going to be Deluha. But honestly, Dugout's safe, but yeah. The Dugout bring the Barkamon back in. Alright, here is the question. Almost certainly Dreadful Mist Power Sap. I do not want to Torch Pass yet. I want my Hog to stay in just a bit longer. So that means I'm not clear fielding. I can play in Dread, and I can Trait Dance this Deluha, and then just continue playing in Dread, to be honest. Let's walk you to front. For some bonus damage here. Okay. We're going to take... that. Do I free ball? Yeah, I think I free ball. I think I can outlast you in Dread. Although, now I think about it, I had it in Cloud, so I could have also just totally passed, which probably would have been better than chanting. Especially since I didn't do any damage. You know what? That is a misplay. I'm stupid. Anyways, it is perfectly fine, though. Because this Deluha can just shake off once and then not really do anything useful. So I can just comfortably block your Power Sap. Or I can bring in the Waddler, and then Waddle just lives on 9. And then bring it in and then Torch Pass. That's kind of juicy. Now, let's just block. Yep. I think I volley, I step, or maybe I quick step and then I step back. No, because I want to bring in. No, I want to Torch Pass to Waddle as Y. I don't think I want you being in front row when that happens. I forgot that I can become Jazz through Dread. That is incredible. I actually did not even know that was an interaction. I can become jazzed through Dread within the clouds. That's insane tech. Never before seen. Now, I don't think I really care what comes in. I just kind of want to force Mudsley on the field. And I don't want to get sideways pressured. Alright, yep. Frozen, but cannot die. Right? Boom is not enough. Spitball. Front row boom is kind of close, actually. It's gonna hurt. I trait dance this Mudsley and put it on a timer? I mean, I need to get sweaty first. What if it heat waves? Wouldn't that be insane? Or do I want to just get Juicer a little more health to get it a safer switch, and then I get the Tort back to full? That's also really good. Oh yeah, it's immune. That's really funny. I can trait dance anytime I want. Cool. I'll do it next turn. Actually, it could be a spitball. It's probably a spitball, right? Nope, it's not a spitball. Perfect. That did a lot of damage, excuse me? Anyways. This would be a great time for a Hog Read, to be honest. If Hog comes in for Mudsley, they're in pretty good position, to be honest. My Waddle being low and my Hog still needing quite a few turns to come back online is not the greatest for me, and their Hog being healthy in the back with Grid online is also really good for them. I don't have a great position to get Mudsley in with Deluha sitting in the front, unfortunately. But if they do not read and bring in some damage right here and now, I'm going to start getting some extraordinary healing. Also, I just realized I could have clicked refresh. No, I couldn't click refresh, I'm a liar. Okay. Power Sap and Boom. I think it's going to be a Mist, right? Mist and then Boom. Also, I just realized this thing has Thresh, that's why I'm doing so much damage. Yeah, kinda ruining my whole vibe. Ooh, good read. Thrasher should be offline now from the Deluha, which is actually going to help my survivability considerably, and I think it means I can comfortably just block this Lunaptra. Ooh, interesting. Is it time for the juicer? Can the juicing commence? I don't think so. They're both pretty chunky. I don't quite have kill on everything in the back. What if I give up a point here, reset tempo, and then take a boom serve? What if I just bring in Dugout, and then I Torch Pass to Maraptor, and continue stabilizing? Even this thing Thrasher was a mistake, huh? Cool with that. Grit does not quite win me the game. Devour Cardbreaker is good. I do kind of want to just double volley Grit or get some health back, right? Nothing really threatens a kill on my Dugout, and then I can just keep slamming that side down. It has to be exactly torch pass. Yep, okay, cool. Good read, good read. This is probably a chill out. And I think Juicer just kills everything in the back with Jazz. And then I win. Well, Cyclone, I guess. Well, no, it can't Cyclone, so I think this is game on the Switch, unless I'm miscalculating. Perfect. And now the juicing cleans up. Muscle-bound, my beloved. Man, I'm sad. Muscle-bound is getting nerfed next patch with the grit nerfs, obviously, because I love grit muscle-bound. Though grit nerfs are well needed, but also the heat wave nerfs, meaning it's difficult to apply. Maybe I should try to find more creative ways to use muscle-bound in tournament. I love using this thing. Beyond grit, but yeah, GG's. Refresh giving insane value. Tons of healing off the Maraptor giving insane value. The threat of Torch Pass, being able to deny the Dread with clear field. Just gotta bring the right answers. Gotta bring the right answers. Alright, on to finals against the winner of Hallow and Igor next round. Igor I'm very excited to play if he makes it, because he has a very scary team, actually, that I've been thinking about a little bit in the background. Obviously focused more on my immediate match, because I could very well have lost to Zonk or Charge. But I would be very excited to play Igor because I think his team actually counters mine, and I have to find a creative solution to it to win. Hallow, also with a good team, would be a fun rematch because we were one of the cross draft plays, and we have both switched up our teams considerably since we've played, so they would be fun to play again. But anyways, that is for another time. Bye.